I was 12 when my mom packed my life into a black garbage bag. No suitcase. No explanation. When I was 16, my mother dumped me at a shelter with a garbage bag full of clothes, telling me to figure things out. Years later, she came back for money, demanding I pay her debts. So, I gave her a garbage bag and said goodbye. When I was 16, my mother threw me out, at a shelter, with a single garbage bag full of clothes. Figure things out, she'd said. That was her parting advice. No hug, no farewell, just the slam of the car door and the sight of her taillights disappearing down the road. I stood there holding that crumpled bag, half of which had already ripped at the seam, as the December wind slashed through my thin jacket as if it had a special grudge against me. I spent that Christmas in a group home, watching other children open donated gifts. I didn't get one. They had run out. I recall staring into the bottom of a styrofoam cup filled with watered-down cocoa, wondering if this was what growing up entailed. I haven't seen or heard from her since. Until yesterday. My name is Ryan. I'm 30 now. I've had a good life, considering where I started. I have a nice career in logistics, a small, 3-bedroom rental in the suburbs, and a garage full of half-finished projects that I'll probably never finish but still enjoy tinkering with. I largely keep to myself. My coworkers think I'm the cool, quiet guy, but they don't know the half of it. I don't tell anyone about my mother. I don't talk about the shelter. It's easier that way. Yesterday afternoon, I had just returned home from work. Keys in one hand, a supermarket bag containing frozen pizza, and cat litter in the other. My cat, Will, was meowing from inside as if I were 6 hours late. I had just stepped onto the porch when I noticed him. A man, perhaps in his mid-50s, stood beside the sidewalk as if he was waiting. He had nervous energy, constantly shifting his weight. When he finally looked up and made eye contact with me, he attempted a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Ryan," he inquired, his voice dry, as if he didn't use it much. "Yeah," I said softly. I didn't recognize him. He didn't explain. He simply reached into his coat pocket and handed me an envelope. I recall pausing, looking at it as if it might erupt. The calligraphy on the front struck me like a sucker punch, slanted cursive. Neat. Too neat. I hadn't seen such handwriting since I was a child. Signing permission slips for field trips. I never got to go on. "Who gave you this?" I asked. "She said you'd know," he explained. Then, as if he had a bus to catch or a crime to flee, he turned and walked away. I didn't open the envelope immediately. I just stood there for a few seconds, dazed, until Will's frantic meow from inside reminded me that I had obligations. I went inside, fed the cat, started the kettle, and stared at the envelope on the kitchen counter as if it were radioactive. I finally cracked it open. Inside was a single sheet of paper. No greeting, no apology, only one sentence. "You're doing well now. Could you assist your mother out?" That was it. No return address. No explanation. Just that one sentence, written in her lovely script, as if we had spoken last week rather than 15 years ago. And just like that, memories I'd buried deep, thrown into some emotional crawl space, resurfaced as if they'd never left. The night she kicked me out, she yelled about how I was too much. She looked at me as if I were an unwanted weight. I tried not to detest her throughout the years. Part of me assumed she was dead, that addiction had consumed her, or that she had just moved on and started a new life. Regardless, I'd learned to live without answers. But now she wanted assistance. I didn't get much sleep that night.